morning. This is Pastor Ray Frank and Syracuse Wesleyan Church. And today is Monday, August the 18th. Well, last Sunday, my grandson, our summer intern, shared with you on Monday Morning Musing. I thought he did a great job. What really kind of hurts my heart is he had a lot more views than I do. Of course, he does go to college and he has lots of buds, so, I'm going to blame it on that. But hey, 4 weeks ago, I talked to you about going all in our worship. And the concept was the more we put into worship, the more benefit we would receive from it. And I certainly still believe that. But as I thought about that a bit and was doing some other reading and thinking, there's a couple of things about worship that I want to expand on. First of all, worship is not just singing. I sort of inferred that in that Monday Morning Musing. I said, if you'd really jump in and sing with all your heart, you'll get more out of it, which I still believe. But worship is much more than that. I want you to know that, so I looked it up. I did a little research. I have a Bible software program called Logos Bible Study, and I asked it, what's the definition of worship? It's kind of a mouthful, but listen to this. Worship is fundamentally defined as the act of ascribing supreme worth, honor, and reverence to God. It involves paying divine honors to the Supreme Being through religious reverence, homage, and adoration. Worship can be expressed in various forms, including public gatherings, private religious exercises, and even in one's entire life viewed as service to God can be worship. The concept of worship encompasses both internal attitudes and external actions, often involving embodied postures such as bowing down, falling face down, or kneeling. Some definitions emphasize worship as a response to God's nature, involving the transformation of one's conscience, mind, imagination, heart, and will. Importantly, true worship is characterized by sincerity and a genuine attitude of the heart rather than in the perfunctory acts of worship. While the term worship can be used in other contexts, its highest meaning is reserved for the reverence and devotion directed toward God, who alone is considered truly worthy of being worshiped. Well, that's quite a mouthful. But it simply means that worship is a whole lot more than just singing. Well, but I heard an illustration about worship just this last week, and it's kind of stuck with me. It was from my friend Nathan Johnson. You ought to check out his website and his blog and all that stuff they do. He does a good job. But he talked about this, what causes us to worship. It's when we're enthralled. It's when we get a glimpse of something that is so powerful, so real, we go like, oh, wow. And he uses the illustration of one day you're looking out your door or your window and you see this beautiful sunset, maybe the most amazing sunset you've ever seen, and you're just like, wow, that's incredible. And, you're texting your friends and say, hey, go out and look at the sun. Or you're trying to take pictures with your iPhone. Never do work very good. The colors aren't as brilliant. But you're just, it's because of what you were able to experience when viewing that sunset that broke you out into that wow experience. What if we came to church with that kind of awareness of Jesus? I think it'd take a little preparation. We'd have to spend some quiet time meditating on some scripture. Maybe humming a song about His glory, His majesty, His power, His grace. But what if we happened to catch a glimpse of Jesus that became so real and so vital that it would have that same kind of wow. Oh my goodness. And it would lead to true worship. Well, I wish I could somehow make you hunger and thirst for that kind of experience. I must confess, I've only had that deep, profound sense of the awareness of Jesus a few times in life, but they're life-changing. And so, as I worship the Lord in our service, I want to forget about the trappings, about, trying to gauge, well, did I like this song? Did they go too fast, too slow? Was it too loud? All those things that we get so caught up in our consumerism. But just be so enraptured by Jesus that I can't help myself but worship him. Well, secondly, the second thing I thought about was, we're not really worshiping in order to get something out of it. I mean, we do. I think we receive blessing and, peace and comfort and all of that, but it's not primarily for our benefit. Too many times we come away from an experience of being in church and evaluate what that experience, but how it impacted us. Wow, that was powerful today. Or, oh, that was boring. What we liked or we didn't like, but what if it really was about giving our praise and thanks to God simply because he deserves such worship? And we evaluated our experience by asking, God, what did you think about it? Was he pleased with how enthralled we were with him? Perhaps is the better question to ask. Well, think about that. And as you prepare the next time you gather for worship, or in fact, everything we do can be worship. It's not just singing, reading the word, working in the fields, doing the dishes, vacuuming the floor. Everything we do can be as part of our worship to a God that enthralls us and overwhelms us with his presence. I trust that'll be your experience this week. Have a great week. God bless.